and Pre-89 F1. We're joined by Connor London, a current New Zealand Superbike rider, and also was riding a classic bike, but unfortunately it was had a problem yesterday, and they went out this morning and had a look at it, and it's got a rattle out there. So a race start with one bike parked up in the back straight there. That's well off the circuit now. Yeah, he's gone out of the way. So checked all these guys there, all fitted up with wets and ready for action there. And Connor, yeah, GSXR 1100s. These were the bikes in the day, and of course we got the FZR 1000 in the Pre-89 as well. I think we've got just solitary bike 114. Is he even on the track? Yes, he is at the tail end there, Suzuki GS 1000. What's your recollection of these early bikes? You know, before you got into motorbike racing, did you follow motorbikes much?
A little bit. I sort of, Freddie Merkel was the guy who really got me into the bigger bikes, and I spent quite a bit before I started riding looking at his old races. So he rode the bikes in the 90s. Yeah, and I watched a few of them for those races, and from what it looks like, they're, you know, a bit loose on them all the time, especially in the wet. They saw a race at Donington where Fred Merkel was, and yeah, they were all over the show.
Of course, he was World Superbike Champion, 2 times World Champion, and a great guy. And come over to New Zealand, won the first New Zealand World Superbike Championships. We had the final here for 3 years at Manfeild, and he took that away. I can remember him being on the podium and getting his prize, and he was all happy. But he was an American man, decided New Zealand was a nice place to live. So once he retired from his motorcycle racing, moved to Taupo, and of course Connor's a Taupo lad, and that's how they formed the relationship. It was good, just to. Yeah, what a mentor, mate. What a mentor,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, he's a bit of a character as well. The first time I went riding was here on when I went riding with him on a CBR 600, and yeah, it was just the way he speaks to you about everything. He's got, probably can't repeat the language he says, but...
So with a guy that's got so much natural talent, as opposed, I'm not saying you don't have natural talent, but there's a guy with so much natural talent, how easy was he to learn from? You know, some people just don't know how they do it. They just do it and they get the results, and of course he got world championships. Could he identify easily what you were doing correct and what you were doing incorrect?
Yeah, well, for me, I definitely don't. I wouldn't say I'm a naturally talented rider. I've always had to go out and work really hard and learn how to do everything, and it's taken time. Whereas, you know, you get people like Daniel Meadow, he can jump on any bike and go fast straight away. He's got a lot of natural talent. And yeah, Freddie Merkel, it was more the mental sort of the way you approach things as more the technical stuff. He always had the points of the way to approach a race and the way to be aggressive and how to, you know, attack passes. He wasn't the most technically. We didn't have as much technical advice on, like, you know, sort of lines or whatever, but you know, he had the basics, so he could teach you the basics.
And that's a big part of the sport, the mental approach. I mean, there's a few people out there today looking at the rain and thinking, oh, I don't really want to ride in the rain. That's their choice. It's all about safety and that. Let's get back to what's on the track, Ken. Is this Ken Ferguson coming through on 289? In fact, I wondered yesterday whether Ken was out there on wet slicks because he was at the tail end of the field, but certainly something's changed today, and he leads it into Toyota there in second spot there, 58 Duncan Coots, followed by Mark Hatton on the FZR 1000 Yamaha. Duncan Coots is riding a Yamaha as well. That's what it's listed on the program, although it does to me look almost like is that a... No, it's got fairings on. I can't identify the bike, but it says Yamaha, so I'll run with Yamaha. Mark Hatton there in third place on the FZR 1000. John Rawcliffe there. I personally expected a bit quicker times out of John because he's from Invercargill, and it's only sunny for about a day and a half a year down there. Our furthest distance travelled man all the way from Invercargill, John Rawcliffe's round there, and he's going into the hairpin in fourth place on the really dusty coloured, musty coloured bike. This has seen a few miles like a lot of these bikes, and an entrant I don't think I saw out there on the track yesterday from memory, 106 Andrew Skilton. So 27 was the bike that expired down the back straight in the warm-up lap, and I noticed that 114 has pulled out as well. Campbell Stevenson, our GS1000, our only pre-82 competitor. So what a great meeting this is. I come up last year and they weren't going to have a commentator. I said, look, I'll come up and do it for you. And I really appreciate it. I said I'd do it for nothing because they look after me at other meetings, but they gave me a bit of petrol money, which I do appreciate, and invited me back this year to change the position where Duncan Coots has found that extra power coming out of the Go Media corner and just went across the start-finish line ahead of 289 Ken Ferguson. I know a bit about Duncan, but I don't think I've heard this name, Ken Ferguson, so welcome to the track. And you've certainly got the pace on there, and actually closing up on Duncan. Duncan come out of the Toyota corner, opened up the lead, but Ken started reeling him in on the black Suzuki GSXR 1100. And your bike out today, a bit disappointing there, Connor?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. You stay had an issue with the clutch and another issue this morning, so it's just best to let it sit out and figure out what the issue is before it gets worse. So yeah, we unfortunately sitting out today, but got to have a go yesterday morning, so got to experience the classic meeting, and yeah, it's really awesome to be here just to see just the pure love of motorcycling that everyone has here. It's all about the fun, and everyone just here to have a good time. It's great.
Yeah, I understand there are points, and there was definitely a prize giving this morning. I was doing something else there, but there was a prize giving this morning, and a few trophies handed out from yesterday. So that makes the pressure's off on some people today, and just get out there and racing. I'm not too sure what the weather's doing. My weather forecast said it was going to be nice and fine, but it is what it is. And we're joined by Ctas as well, Ctas Live, which is doing live footage now, and also move that round so you can see it. Also, it will be available online in a couple of days, as we see going into turn one now. Duncan Coots has now got maybe 60 metres ahead of Ken Ferguson on the 289 machine. Mark Hatton, bit of a lonely ride there in third place, but that's how it is. No one to play with at the moment. We've got John Rawcliffe on number 103 there, comes through the start-finish stripe. And have we got a white flag out there? Not yet. Elapsed time 6 minutes, so I guess that's about 4 laps. What have we got? 1:23 lap times. Can't even recall what the lap record is. Of course, no chance of lap records today in the rain. That's how it is. But Duncan Coots is not getting away and not opening up. He showed the pace a couple of laps ago. Is he just getting? Is he just settling down into there, or is Ken Ferguson got someone to follow now and trying to close him up? You got any money on who's going to win this one there, Connor London?
Just been watching Ken Ferguson. He looks like he's got really good corner speed into turn one and through the first sector, but just looked like Duncan Coots' bike's just got that little bit of legs down the back straight and front straight, so he pulls the gap back up. But I think Ken Ferguson can definitely learn a bit from having Duncan ahead of him, and someone to follow always helps quite a bit, and it always makes it difficult to lead a race in the rain to figure out the conditions, and because you can physically see in front of you what the track's doing with the rider ahead, and you can just sort of monitor what they're doing. So,
but on the downside of that, you've often got vision issues.
Yep.
Especially when you get right close up into a bike, and that can play with your head. You've just literally got water spray from the bike in front on your head. Was that a bit of a mistake by Duncan Coots, running a little bit hot there?
Looks like he
pick it up a bit.
Went in a bit deep, but he managed to bring it back. So I think he's all sweet there. But yeah, just what you're saying with the spray for sure, and the wet, one of the biggest issues on the first laps, especially, is the spray coming up, and sometimes you do have to sit back so that.
Oh, there's another moment, big moment for Duncan Coots. I'd say he missed a gear. He sat up and seemed to sort of balk for a wee while, and so that's. Ken Ferguson on the 289 machine will be able to smell the fear or smell this now, and it's about this stage where that Duncan Coots will hear the bike in behind him and think, right, what have I got to do? Whether he's made those mistakes because there's a slight adjustment problem, that was 2 corners out of 3, or whether he's just getting a bit flustered. Duncan's been around for a long, long time. I don't think he normally gets flustered. I think, did he go to the Isle of Man this year? And,
around the outside by Ken Ferguson, around the outside on Higgins. Brilliant pass.
Nice, tidy move, isn't it? And Duncan Coots tries to fight back and does fight back. He passes them there. It's all about the braking into the Go Media corner. They're both evenly matched there. Ken Ferguson, is he going to get the drive around this corner a little bit? He's closing up there a little bit. They come onto the front straight. Now, this was where Duncan Coots was particularly strong in the last lap or two ago. Here's the checkered flag. It will be Duncan Coots and then Ken Ferguson. So that's Yamaha and then Suzuki. Mark Hatton rounds off the podium in third spot, coming along the front straight on the 164 machine. Come down from the Waikato there. There goes Mr. Hatton there. On 164 through there, looking around the big sweeper for 4th spot, and it is Johnny Rawcliffe on another FZR 1000, all the way up from Invercargill. Good man. What are we looking at? Oh, there we go. Ctas Live. They've gone back to the slow motion replay of that pass, and we both saw it. Connor come back to the commentary. That's the most important thing, and told us his take on that, and he was pretty impressed. And if you can impress a superbike rider, that's an impressive move, mate.
Yeah, the camber and Higgins helps that a bit. It's pretty forgiving. You can go high or wide, and you can go up, down, tight. So you can do a couple of different lines in there, and he took advantage of that in the right corner. And it takes a bit of balls to go around the outside of someone anywhere.
Testicles, I think the official word is. 106 coming through there to round off the finishes, with David Dixon having a DNF early on in the piece. So that's it. Coming up shortly is the Post Classics Junior.